Hi, my name is Leslie Bush. I'm here to introduce my friend Connie, and I am in Western Washington University's Human Services program. And I thank you, Connie, for your time and helping me with this interview. I also want to disclose that this interview will be published online, and it will be published with my Human Services class. And I just want to make sure that you're okay with that and you understand that, Connie.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I want to start with Connie. You've been a massage therapist for how many years now?
Just over 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
And then what brought you into the massage field? Just a brief.
Yeah. What brought me into massage field was I was in a failing relationship, and my community recognized that there were symptoms in it that were very violent, and I was in denial. So my community actually came to me and told me that I was going to need a new career and that I needed a place to go where I could take my kids and be safe. So I went through some of the places that they told me to go, vocational rehabilitation, CAPCO, and they helped me decide what I was going to do and become in my career. And we moved forward, and they paid for all of my training. I was actually looking for something quiet. It really wasn't massage, but everything pointed towards massage. Once I got involved in massage, I loved it and found that it was something I was gifted in, and had a knack for listening to people and their body language. And that's how and then when the relationship became so extreme that my life was in danger, the children's lives were in danger, then the community came to me and they moved me to whatever place I wanted to go in the United States. And I was suggested to go to the Seattle area, and they thought that would be the best for us because I was moving kids here without birth certificates. No, they had never been to school. I had 5 kids. The youngest was special needs, and the oldest at that time was 19, and he'd already left home. So I had 4 kids that needed to go into school. And so then I was recommended that I come to the Bremerton area because they were the most adaptable in getting people of different beliefs and nationalities into the public school system.
Right on. Thank you, Connie. So it was quite a life transition for you. But because of this life transition, because of your gifts, you decided to go into massage therapy. And just an incredible story of how you've moved on with your life despite your past. So that brings me into my next topic, where I want to talk about massage therapy and domestic violence. How has massage therapy been helpful to domestic violence victims?
I can speak from a personal experience. I had never had massage until the beating started, and I didn't want anybody to know about them because you're ashamed of it. But I did go to a therapist in our town, and in that quietness, it would empower me to look at the situation that I was in and face the fact that I was going to need to leave him.
So while you were in the domestic violence and things were pretty volatile or acute, massage therapy would give you a place to be able to reflect and to be able to
safely reflect. You felt safe and empowered because as your body relaxed and the different muscles that were tense within you from where your brain was at, because remember, as an embryo, we grew from the brain out. Every part of your body is a reflection of thought. So when you're stuck in thought, you're stuck in a place in your body. And so as they would release these places and the flow would get going and get me more back into my core, in my core, I would so-called find my music. And in the music, I would say I had choices. And then I could be empowered with them and be able to make a choice without all the emotional garbage that was still clinging to me. Because the muscle that held the emotion was now dissolved and relaxed.
So massage therapy helped you to get back into your parasympathetic nervous system.
Exactly.
Where restoration and relaxation is helpful.
Yes.
But you had to be in a connection with your massage therapist, and you needed a place where you did feel safe, so you could download in a sense.
And I knew the best part I liked about her was I knew she was not going to intrude. She was not going to make decisions for me. She was going to let me make my own decisions up. I knew she wasn't going to run and take my children away from me, because that's the biggest fear that people in domestic violence have, is they feel they're an unfit mother. And we never had alcohol, we never had drugs, but we had the physical abuse. The physical abuse would make me be afraid that if I spoke up, that CPS then would take my children away. And when she empowered you with the fact that no one's going to do anything, we're just here for your good and for your children's good, good grows and it overcomes the bad and it gives you courage.
So massage was a safe place for you to reflect. And you also felt a level of acceptance because the massage therapist wasn't trying to overpower you or to force you to do something that you just weren't ready. You just weren't there yet.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I learned after this. I got to be good friends with Lori Wilkie. Lori Wilkie has a degree in, and she teaches at Chapman University, domestic violence and its effects on children, and molestation and its effects on children, and divorce and its effects on children. She teaches these classes, and she did a lot of counseling with myself and my children. And as she told me, she says, you cannot force an emotion to bloom before its time, or you will weaken your client. And so what massage did is it just let things flow, and there were things that I wasn't yet ready to face. But as time progressed, I was able to face them later on in its time when I was strong enough, when my psyche was ready to look at it. And it was step by step.
So massage therapy helped you to build your strength. So you also did an inner reflection, but it also helped you to build your strength to a place where you were able to make those life changes. And it was a big life change. It was very brave of you.
And I came from a place where counseling was absolutely taboo. You had to be insane, crazy, and a lunatic to go to a counselor because they were even more insane and more crazy than you. That was the belief system that was taught. And it was through massage, really. That was my connection to myself.
So you went to a massage therapist before you even went to a counselor or reached out to a human service program?
Yes. And then I was ready for the human service program. I was ready for the little thing of just our community bringing me some food. I wasn't even ready for that.
So what was the transition? What do you remember, like, what happened? What was the transition for you to get to a place where you were ready to move to the next step?
Everything was baby steps.
Uh-huh.
But the big step where I realized that maybe a divorce was coming in to my life. So I was actually sitting at a stoplight. I'd gotten a massage a couple days before. Sitting at a stoplight, looking at a car that was, I know that person was on their the third car in the last 8-9 years. And I was sitting in my pickup. I didn't have seatbelts for any of my kids. My door, if I leaned on it, it fell open and I'd fall out. And I had totally bald tires and nothing but wires sticking out. And I was looking at that and it suddenly hit me. Why am I so poor and we have cattle and all this land and that person doesn't have anything and they're on their third car and those kids are all buckled up? And that made me suddenly, for a fleeting second, think maybe somebody was controlling my circumstances.
Right on. Good for you.
And that grew.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much, Connie, for your time and for sharing your story about massage therapy and how that has been helpful in domestic violence.